Okay, so when I was trying to figure out my next chapter, as I called it, in House and Home in 2008, I had a very clear vision of what my brand would look like and it would feel like, because we are all visual people for sure. But I went through quite a process of trying to figure out how I would monetize that vision. Like, I had this vision of what this business could be, but I really didn't know what form it would take. And I talked to a lot of people. I spent the fall of 2008 really just taking people to lunch and asking them what they thought I should do, which was a complete waste of money. Because everybody wanted to slot me into my media slot, because that's what I was a media person. And they wanted to keep me in there, and they told me I'd be crazy if I abandoned everything that I'd worked for and that people knew me, and I should be using that, I should be on a speaker circuit and talking to the TV stations and yada, yada, yada. But the fact was that I left a really good job, and I left it because I wanted a change. And so I thought, I just made the biggest, hardest move of my entire life, and now to sort of recreate it on my own, no, I don't think that sounds right. So I decided that I wanted to go with my vision, even if it didn't make sense to a lot of the business guys that I talked to. So over the years at House and Home, I had enjoyed a process of developing the product line that we did with the Bay. And so I thought, you know what, that is something I really actually enjoyed in my day. I liked developing the products. And besides, it was 2008, it was like retail just sucked, and TV sucked, magazines were like sucked. Debbie Travis, the guy at Rogers said to me, well, I have a Debbie Travis magazine sitting right there on the shelf. And we just worked on it for like a year and we're not doing it. So like, there's no way I'm doing a Kobe Ladner magazine. So everything was brutal. So I decided that I was gonna work on this product line, which I knew would take a lot of time. And a lot of entrepreneurs told me that starting in a recession was actually quite great. So I had come out from under this umbrella of the brand of House and Home, and I felt often like I was standing alone in the wilderness and in the elements. And I needed to really be very clear about what my brand was going to be about. What was at the center of my brand? What was the core of my brand? For you guys, I would assume your brand, the core of it, is the design business. Kimberly, yours might be a TV show, like media or something. Or it is the design business, doesn't matter. Okay, so everybody has a core and a center point. I actually had walked away from all of that, and I had nothing, really. I had a following, and I had this vision and this point of view, but I really didn't have anything else. And so I decided, maybe crazy, I don't know, that I was gonna put a look or an aesthetic at the center point of my brand. And I figured that it didn't really matter what I was going to be selling, whether that was going to be furniture or fabric, drapery, light fixtures, vases, trays, baskets, pillows, throws, flowers and art, teapots, and now finally bedding and bath. That I'm still selling a lifestyle or a look. I called my company Kobe, Collection of Beautiful Ideas. My dear mother had no idea that 50 years ago that she was going to be naming my company and that it would be an acronym for Collection of Beautiful Ideas. And I remember that when I described my idea for this company called Kobe to my poor dear husband, that he asked me a very good question. What if that look that you're talking about, the one that you're planning on basing an entire company on and half of our household income, what if that look goes out of style? I immediately told him that he knew nothing about what I did and that his opinion really didn't matter at all. And then of course, I started to worry. And I started to think, well, what if for Lululemon, what if yoga went out of style, right? Or what if what if books went out of style? And I was like, they did! Books are out of style! Anyway, something told me that my look was more than a look. And why that is, well, you know what? I realized after being the editor of House and Home that there are a million looks. There are a million ways to take it. There are a million design theories. And each one is unique, and that is the beauty of decorating. Even though builders are now building houses all the same, no two families who live in those houses are the same, thank goodness. And even though products are mass developed and in crazy quantities and in faraway lands, no two customers are ever the same or what they do with that product. I decided that the center of my brand would be about individuality, it would be about personality and expression, and that those things never go out of style. My look would be about something that was always in style: character, creativity. Before Kobe Style could exist, though, I had to communicate it to others. I had to convince them that it was real. This is a photo shoot that I did to try to express the look that I was after, and we did it with other companies' products. It's a Barrymore chair, actually, and that's an antique grill at the back, and that's a porcelain stool from my house. And let me read to you some of my original notes about Kobe Style when I could only see it really up here. Kobe is a concept product line based on a full and joyful life at home, brimming with color and fun, accessible to all, no pretense, ripe with the juice of life. I'd worked at a magazine for a long time. Loosely based on Chinatown and Indian bazaars, edited for the West with a funky, worldly attitude, Kobe is great stuff that gets the juices flowing. Pink velvet, Chinese blue and white, ceramic stools, ginger jars, cozy throws, colorful tunics. I had this one made for the photo shoot because I couldn't find anything that I had envisioned. And jewelry too I wanted to do, and I still want to do that. Kobe excites the senses and gets the creative engine pumping. It's fun for me to read these notes now, actually, when I was going back and looking at them, and look at these pictures that we created. Before anything existed, and other than my vision, and compare them to the pictures that we now take with real products. Here's a picture from a British magazine that I carried around in my briefcase to every meeting. And I don't even know why, but that picture to me, that expressed what Kobe Style was going to be about. I have no idea who the designer is, and it's on a fake brochure for Kobe Style, so I hope she never sees it. These are slides that we did. A lady helped me with these, and we took these to presentations, and we said, so if we were going to do a furniture line, it would be something like that, and if we did soft stuff, it would look like that. And there's our tabletop and decorative accents. So, you know, it was all make-believe. It was all making it up, and I kept saying, is it make-believe? Like, is it possible? I really didn't know. This is the first shoot that we did of real Kobe Style product. This is after many, many meetings with many, many suppliers in different categories and lots of meetings that didn't work. Let me just tell you that. And this is, though, the beginnings of Kobe Style, and I do love to look at this because I start to see, yes, no matter where this goes and whether it's really successful or mediocre or whatever, at least I feel like I did get from A to B and I did make something real that was imaginary. And that's a wonderful thing, and I think you guys probably feel that in your work all the time. Kobe Style was nothing more really than a twinkle in my eye, and now it does exist in over 1,000 stores across Canada, which nobody told me until I saw a report, and then I said, are there over 1,000 stores? Like, because they were numbered on the left side of the Excel sheet. And they said, yeah. And I said, well, like, were you going to ring a bell or anything? No. Like I said, this is huge for me. You guys have no idea. And then I started to cry. But no, I didn't. But it is in every province, and in the past fall, I hope you've seen that it has launched at a national department store. Sears Canada has the Kobe Style bed and bath line, which took 3 years of development. Just FYI. Thank you. Thank you. That's very nice. So it's no longer just me banking on Kobe style, and it's no longer just my husband who's asking me, you know, is this going to go out of style? Because I've had to convince a lot of tough businessmen and women. So let's have a look at why I feel confident that it's going to be okay. I helped to build the House and Home brand for 18 years, as I mentioned, and so I felt when I left it that I did have some understanding of branding. I know you guys have talked a lot about branding, but when I started to really work on a brand, an imaginary one at that, I realized that actually branding means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and different industries think of it differently too. So here I brought with me 2 definitions that I think are really good about branding. First one says, a brand is the set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that taken together account for a consumer's decision to choose one product or service over another. Lots of designers out there, why are they going to pick yours? And the second one is, brand is the name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature that identifies one seller's product distinct from those of the others. I think this is really cool because I never thought of it. Initially, branding was adopted to differentiate one person's cattle from another's by means of a distinctive symbol burned into the animal's skin, and was subsequently used in business, marketing, and advertising. A brand is often the most valuable asset of a corporation. I think that's really interesting, and I just had never made the relationship of branding with cattle. Branding can be tricky stuff. And we've seen brands come and go and fail and, you know, do really well. I'd still rather build a brand than build a company, and I'll tell you why. It's a very fickle world out there, and the thing is, if one commodity fails or falls out of favor, just like I was talking about with Indigo and books, then a brand can adapt and it can do something else. They're now selling home products and baby products and food and all kinds of things, whereas a bookstore wouldn't be able to do that. It's that ever-important balancing act of making sure a brand is strong to make it meaningful, otherwise nobody really gets what it is, but also to let it be limber for it to stay current and on trend. Here's a little bit of fun. Which of these 3 brands would you guys say is strong, really strong, so you understand it immediately, but also limber for today's current trends? We've got Kate Spade, which is obviously very graphic and retro and playful and smart and charming. And we've got Ralph, who is classic and grand and handsome, historic, luxurious. And then we have Ms. Stewart, who's soft and feminine and basic, simple, wholesome. When I looked at these, and I was looking at lots of different ones, and fashion ones I just find are just the easiest to quickly look at. I find that Kate Spade's brand, for whatever reasons, is staying the most current, and it's the most nimble of those 3 when I think about it, because I think Martha's brand right now is suffering a little bit. It's feeling a little dated. I don't know why necessarily. It's not particular choices, but that's the essence of this, is sort of having that strength that immediately you know it, and I hugely respect Martha Stewart, actually, and everybody that does this kind of thing, because it's tough. It's very tough to make something recognizable the second someone sees it, but it also has to move and bend.